Hey there! So Amazon released Season 2 of The Man in the High Castle on December 16th. Last year I reviewed Season 1 of this adaptation of Philip K. Dick's dystopian alternate history novel, featuring a world in which the Allies lost World War II and global power is now split between the Germans and the Japanese, and it was requested that I review Season 2 when it came out. Well, we finished Season 2 about a week ago. I've given myself a few days to process it, and now here are some thoughts. It's possible some of you watching this may not have seen Season 2 yet, or Season 1, and that's okay, don't worry. I'm going to keep this review as spoiler-free as I can. I'm going to talk about characters lightly, but not so much the things that happen to them, and my allusions to events in Season 1 and Season 2 will be very vague. Season 2 of The Man in the High Castle picks up pretty much where Season 1 left off and continues some of the central conflicts, but it's not long before most characters are confronted with big changes and propelled in new directions. There are so many characters, with some smaller characters from Season 1 elevated to larger roles, and each one has his or her individual plotline, with overlap, of course. As you might expect, there were some plot lines I really enjoyed and felt intensely engaged in, and a couple that I just didn't care about that much. These various plot lines, which gradually converge in the final 10th episode, have lots of twists and turns. The theme of duality continues. Everyone's hiding something, or pretending to be someone they're not, or actually playing more than one role, or more than one version of themselves. It's complicated. There's a determined effort in this show, from the tail end of Season 1 throughout Season 2, to humanize a couple of the antagonists and reveal honorable motivations behind some of their actions. I was aware of this in Season 1, but what makes it so funny in Season 2 is that I feel more and more sympathetic for some of the bad guys, while characters who, technically on paper, should be the good guys, are just not likable. The end result is that sometimes I'm not sure whose side I'm on, and when unlikable people are pitted against each other, I just feel like I don't care, just fight and one of you kill each other and then we can move on. Now, a key development unfolds with Trade Minister Tagomi as he delves into the more mystical or fantastical element of the series. This is the turning point where the show reveals that it's more than just a World War II alternate history scenario, and for some viewers, this might not be what they signed up for. As for the characters, I liked central protagonist Juliana Crane a lot more in this season, which is good because she really is at the heart of the show. Other characters who got some good development this season are Frank and Juliana's good friend Ed, Chief Inspector Kido of the Kempeitai, Helen Smith, who's turning out to be as fierce as her husband, and that sleazy American handicraft salesman Childen, who gets most of the humorous lines and whose reactions to things are so amusingly gawky. It's kind of a dark show, so they need someone like him to lighten the mood every now and then. But Obergruppenführer John Smith is still, for me, the most fascinating character, and he gets a lot of screen time. With Smith, you get flung from one extreme to another. You feel so much compassion for him in his personal situation, and you're hoping that he'll find a solution. But then, a couple scenes later, you're with another character, and there's a knock at the door, and the person goes and opens it, and boom! There's John Smith, darkening the doorway like the Grim Reaper, and he's absolutely intimidating and terrifying. It's brilliant. I will say the end of this season left me a little confused. Now that's not a huge surprise, because I was confused at the end of Season 1. The Man in the High Castle is just one of those shows. My mom and I rewatched Season 1 in October or November, this time with my dad seeing it for the first time, and seeing it again really helped get some of the pieces straight, and of course was good prep for Season 2. Probably if I rewatch this season, some of my confusion will be taken care of, but the problem I had with Season 2, mainly in the last couple episodes, is that a lot of big things are happening and we get some important pieces of new information, but everything has to move so quickly to accommodate all those characters and subplots that need tying up that I think some of the storytelling suffers. Clearly the new info is important, but I need more than a split second to digest it and think of its implications before we zoom on to the next thing. Otherwise, the climactic action is not going to seem as cohesive, and it's not going to have as big an effect as it should. Ultimately, Season 2 answers some of the questions that I had from Season 1, but then it leaves me with still more questions. But in spite of characters or subplots that I didn't like or didn't care about or struggled to keep up with, there were things I liked, characters that were very well played, scenes thick with tension that were excellently done. So overall, I liked Season 2, and I'm curious to see what happens in Season 3. So there you go, those are some thoughts on Season 2 of The Man in the High Castle. I hope you enjoyed that or found it helpful. If you've never seen the show and it sounds interesting to you, maybe you should check it out. Thanks for watching! Bye!